Dash is the process in which people, ideas, and goods spread throughout the world, spurring more interaction and integration between the world's cultures, governments, and economies.
Perfect. Globalization is the correct choice.
A person or company that makes, grows, or supplies goods to sell is called the.
Clear logic? Your choice producer is sound and 100% true.
Why are goods cheaper in weekly markets? A. They don't pay extra fee for any other reason. B. They sell low-quality goods. C. To get many consumers to buy from their shops.
Well done. Both A and C is the right choice.
There are 100 Dettol soaps with retail value of rupee 5 each. Now company decides to spend rupee 200 on its advertisements. What will be the new metop of one Dettol soap?
Exactly. Rupee 7 makes sense and it is right choice.
Dash government runs a free school uniform programmed in the state. The government procures the cloth for this programmed from the power loom weavers cooperatives.
Smart pick. Tamil Nadu is the correct choice.
Why are goods cheaper in the weekly markets? A. They don't pay extra fee for any other reason. B. They store the things they sell at home. C. They do not hire workers. Right again. All of the above is a valid answer. Samir is a cloth trader who sells his goods in 6 different markets every week. He travels in a van with other traders. What type of market does he operate in?
Well reasoned. Weekly market is the correct choice.
Is the following answer true or false? 1, 2, 4.
Excellent. True is a brilliant choice. Which of the following is a type of retail market where goods are sold over the internet and customers can make purchases using a computer or mobile device? Nice work. You chose online market, and it is correct. Which of the following is a type of retail store that is independently owned and operated, but follows the business model and guidelines of a larger company? Or
Solid response. Franchise outlet is a valid choice.
DHCLT has established Dash in villages through whom the farmers can have information about market prices of vegetables, etc.
You're right. E-Chapels is the correct answer.
What is the money consideration which is paid in return to use a brand logo or name in own business with same maintenance and standards? Excellent choice. Goodwill is the right answer. An individual or group who purchases goods. Bravo. Consumer is the answer. Who are the sellers in the weekly markets? Nicely done. Retailers is a solid answer. What is the distinctive style of miniature painting mentioned in the text that developed in Basoli in the late 17th century? Great thinking. Himachal Pradesh is the right choice. People go to weekly market to buy Dash. You chose goods of everyday requirements, and it is correct. In a weekly market, prices are higher than those in shopping malls because the shop owners have to pay rent and electricity bills. On track. False is the correct answer. If you see a market with temporary stalls, traders selling fresh vegetables, and customers bargaining, what type of market is it? Well picked. Weekly market is the correct answer. One day, Ash. is a medium that allows buyers and sellers of a specific good or service to interact in order to facilitate an exchange.
Smart move. Market is an accurate answer. What is an enclosed shopping space in a large building with many floors having shops, restaurants, and cinema theater called?
Correct response. Mall is the most accurate answer.
In a dash, people with common interests come together and work for their mutual benefit.
You got it? Your choice cooperative is right.
PDs has not been made more transparent by digitization of ration card, supply chain management, toll-free helpline, etc.
Great job. False is the accurate answer.
What house did Harry go to? Good thinking. Gryffindor is the right answer. What is a series of markets that is connected like links in a chain because products pass from one market to another?
Strong choice. Chain of market is the right answer.
Ansif has guest coming to his house on short notice. His mother asks him to buy groceries. Which market will he go to?
Correct. Neighborhood shop is the right answer.
The owner of City Mart from Coaches wants to increase his customer base. What should he do from these options?
Good job. Your answer offer discounts and promotions works well here.
In general, the people who buy stocks from the producers and then supply it to the consumers are called dash.
Valid point. Traders is true.
People also prefer shops in neighborhood for their day-to-day requirements as they can visit them anytime. Right choice. True is the best answer. Branded goods are often promoted by claims of quality. They are mostly sold in.
Nice selection. I expensive advertising better if showrooms is the correct and valid answer.
In the context of the story, what distinguishes the shop owners in weekly markets and shopping complexes?
Sharp thinking. Profit margins is the right choice.
Rahul observed that a certain group of makeshift shops are held every week. What are those markets called?
Nice selection. Weekly market is the correct and valid answer.
What is the term used for large multi-storied air-conditioned buildings with shops on different floors?
Strong choice. Malls is the right answer.
Tara is looking for the best places to buy groceries. Where will she get the products at cheaper rates?
Right choice. Weekly market is the best answer.
Buying and selling also take place without going to the market, but through telemarketing and internet.
Bravo. True is the answer.
According to the text, what is the term used to describe small-sized paintings done on cloth or paper?
Correct. Miniatures is the right answer.
Dash is the obtaining of goods or services on the basis of trust that payment will be made in future.
Valid point. Credit is true.
Dash are the places where a lot of sellers and buyers come together and exchange of goods take place.
Nicely done. Markets is a solid answer.
The shops that are useful as they are near our home and we can go there on any day of the week are.
On track. Neighborhood shops is the correct answer.
A market is a dash, which allows buyers and sellers to exchange goods, services, and information.
You got it. Your choice environment is right.
In case of Dash, the seller sells similar quantities to different buyers at different prices.
Right again? Flexible price is a valid answer.
The Dash is the middleman who buys goods in bulk from producers and sells them to retailers. Excellent choice. Wholesaler is the right answer. Which state was the first to run a free school uniform program and has the road market?
Solid response. Tamil Nadu is a valid choice.
HOTS. What the issues related to buying and selling? Smart move. Crowded areas is an accurate answer. The process of trading goods or services for other products, goods or services, is called. You chose barter, and it is correct. Dasho are those in which the buying and selling takes place over the phone or the internet.
Perfect. Digital markets is the correct choice.
According to the chapter, what is the role of wholesale traders in the chain of markets? Great thinking. Supplying goods to retailers is the right choice. What type of goods are often bought and sold indirectly without direct use by consumers? Well picked. Raw materials is the correct answer.
The traders who buy huge quantity of goods from the producers are known as Dash traders.
Excellent. Wholesale is a brilliant choice. Dash are the transactions that take place between two different businesses or factories. Well reasoned. B2B is the correct choice. In indirect channel of distribution, producers sell their goods directly to the consumer. Correct response. False is the most accurate answer. Who among the following sells goods at a higher price than others in the chain market? Exactly. Retailer makes sense and it is right choice. The links between the initial producer and final buyer are collectively known as Dash. Smart pick. Market chain is the correct choice. Dash are agricultural markets, where farmers can get the best price for their yield. You're right. Mandi is the correct answer. In a road, the arrangement between the merchant and the weavers is an example of Dash. Good job. Your answer putting out system works well here. The company which sells or leases its products and its name to others is called Dash. Nice work. You chose franchisor and it is correct. People in urban areas can enter markets without stepping out of their homes via Dash. Well done. Internet is the right choice. What type of market allows people to buy things without stepping out of their homes? Great job. E-commerce market is the accurate answer. According to the chapter, what does the story of a shirt aim to help us understand? Clear logic. Your choice equality in markets is sound and 100% true. A retailer buys products from a manufacturer or wholesaler and sells it to the Dash. Good thinking. Consumer is the right answer. Persons who buy the goods from a wholesaler and sell it to consumers for their use. Sharp thinking. Retailer is the right choice. Sellers in the weekly market hire workers to help them in arranging the goods, etc. Perfect. False is the correct choice.
How do sales representatives in clinics and nursing homes engage in selling goods?
Great thinking. Waiting for doctors is the right choice.
What are the few things offered by the malls for the convenience of the customers?
You're right. All of these is the correct answer. In which urban areas can people enter markets without stepping out of their homes?
Well reasoned. Internet markets is the correct choice. State true or falsine the putting out system. Merchants do not cheat the weavers.
Well done. False is the right choice.
What is an enclosed shopping space having shops, restaurants, and cinema theaters?
On track. Mall is the correct answer.
What is one reason mentioned in the text for the lower prices in weekly markets?
Sharp thinking. Competition among shops is the right choice.
In what way do permanent shops in shopping complexes differ from weekly markets?
Strong choice. Exclusive brands is the right answer.
Who are typically not interested in selling their products in small quantities.
Good thinking. Industrialists and farmers is the right answer.
Which type of retail market is considered as shopping-cum-entertainment venues?
You got it. Your choice, malls, is right. Wholesalers help in promoting the sale of products by displaying advertisements.
Excellent choice. False is the right answer. In the context of the chapter, what is a shopping complex also referred to as?
Right again. A mall is a valid answer.
Goods available in Dash include the money of taxes, electricity charges, rents.
Right choice. Malls is the best answer.
In Aftab's vegetable business, when does the buying and selling process start?
Correct response. Early morning is the most accurate answer.
Which of the following is not a type of physical market mentioned in the text?
You chose global markets. And it is correct.
We can purchase goods through which of the following means other than markets?
Well picked. Both of these is the correct answer.
The seller charges the same price for a product from all customers in case of.
Smart move. Fixed price is an accurate answer.
A hawker sells big and heavy items like automobiles and electronic items, etc.
Solid response. Disagree is a valid choice.
What encourages production and creates opportunities in the chain of markets?
Nice selection. Selling of goods is the correct and valid answer.
Which market type is described as having shops that are temporary in nature?
Valid point. Weekly markets is true.
What is a characteristic of weekly markets that contributes to lower prices?
Correct. Competition among sellers is the right answer.
Which committee makes arrangements to the auction of paddy or other grains?
Bravo. Agricultural Produce Marketing Committee is the answer.
Fixed shop retailers do not provide credit facility to its regular customers.
Smart pick. False is the correct choice.
People who are engaged in the production of goods and services are known as.
Nice work. You chose producers and it is correct.
Shahan wants to buy mosquito repeller. Which type of shop would you suggest? Great job. General store is the accurate answer. Why are goods often cheaper in weekly markets compared to permanent shops?
Nicely done. Lower operational expenses is a solid answer.
In the story of Samir, why are clothes in weekly markets more affordable?
Good job. Your answer, smaller profit margins, works well here. Why do permanent shops generally charge higher prices than weekly markets? Clear logic. Your choice stable locations is sound and 100% true.
Shops which deal in the sale of a particular kind of product are known as.
Excellent. Specialty stores is a brilliant choice.
Why do buyers and sellers in different markets have unequal opportunities?
Exactly. Different levels of income make sense, and it is right choice.
The dash variety in Nalgonda is also known as tie and dye variety or ikat.
Solid response. Pochampally is a valid choice. According to the modern concept of marketing, dash is the key to success. Excellent. Customer satisfaction is a brilliant choice. The local farmer who operates the computer on behalf of its chi are known as. Nice selection. Operator is the correct and valid answer.
Intermediaries sell the farmer's produce to wholesalers who are known as.
Good thinking. Arhatius is the right answer. Mansabdar rank and salary were determined by numerical value called dash. You're right. Substance is the correct answer.
The increasing number of supermarkets in the cities is not good for dash.
You got it. Your choice smaller shop owners is right. Only some goods travel through a chain of markets before they reach us. Good job. Your answer false works well here.
What is a distinguishing feature of shops in the neighborhood markets?
Great thinking. Credit facilities for buyers is the right choice.
A dash buys goods in bulk from manufacturers and sells them to retailers.
Excellent choice. Wholesaler is the right answer. The town wholesale trader directly buys the stocks from the producers. Sharp thinking. False is the right choice. Goods ordered from the dash. And the amount is paid by plastic money. Smart move. Internet is an accurate answer. Which type of markets have centralized heating and cooling facilities? Clear logic. Your choice malls is sound and 100% true. What differentiates shopping complexes and malls from weekly markets? Well picked. Permanent shops is the correct answer. The trader who finally sells the products to consumers is called dash. Well reasoned. Retailer is the correct choice. Markets create job opportunities but also creates equality. True, false? Valid point. False is true. The people in between the producer and the final consumer are called right choice. Traders is the best answer. Which among these help you purchase goods without moving out of home? On track. E-commerce is the correct answer. The roadside hawkers sell a large building with many floors having. Correct. All of these is the right answer.
Marketing establishes a link between producers and consumers through.
Right again. Traders is a valid answer.
Dash is a place where goods are bought and sold in small quantities.
You chose retail, and it is correct.
The products sold in shopping malls are cheaper than weekly market.
Bravo, false is the answer.
How do people in the neighborhood usually pay for their purchases?
Nicely done. Cash transactions is a solid answer.
A weekly market trader earns little compared to regular shopkeeper.
Strong choice. True is the right answer.
Buying and selling of goods and services within a country is called.
Correct response. Internal trade is the most accurate answer. What type of goods are typically more expensive in shopping malls? Great job. Branded goods is the accurate answer.
Traders of weekly market set up at a different place the next day.
Smart pick. True is the correct choice.
Who connects the producer to the consumer in the chain of markets?
Perfect. Traders is the correct choice.
What does the employer pay a worker in exchange for their service?
Well done. Wage is the right choice.
How does the inequality in markets impact both buyers and sellers?
Nice work. You chose varied income levels, and it is correct.
Malls have been an integral part of our lives since ancient times. Exactly. False makes sense, and it is right choice.
Why are branded goods often more expensive than non-branded ones?
Clear logic. Your choice higher production costs is sound and 100% true.
Which of the following does not care much about his or her profit?
Strong choice. Wholesaler is the right answer. A trader who finally sells the product to a customer is known as.
Valid point. Retail trader is true.
How can people make purchases without going to physical markets? Smart pick.
Only through online platforms is the correct choice.
Which of these markets cannot be visited on any day of the week?
Exactly. Weekly market makes sense, and it is right choice.
Which of the following things will not find in a weekly market? Good thinking. Branded clothes is the right answer.
The shops that are useful as they are near our home are called.
Nice selection. Neighborhood shops is the correct and valid answer.
A market that is held on a specific day of the week is called.
Good job. Your answer weekly market works well here. Seller of weekly market earn dash than the seller of the mall. You got it? Your choice less is right.
What is the advantage of shops in the neighborhood for buyers?
Right choice. Credit facilities is the best answer.
A wholesaler buys goods directly in large quantities from dash.
Smart move. Producers or manufacturers is an accurate answer.
Why do people go to weekly markets according to the chapter?
Excellent. Lower prices and variety is a brilliant choice.
A person who buys products or services for a price and use it.
Bravo. Consumer is the answer.
It is a market where goods are sold direct to the consumers. You're right. Retail market is the correct answer. Online shopping is catching up in India at a very fast rate. You chose true, and it is correct. The supply of goods depend upon the requirement of customers. Correct. True is the right answer. Amar Colony for furniture in New Delhi is an example of dash. Great job. Specialty markets is the accurate answer. What role do wholesale traders play in the chain of markets? Well done. Connecting producers and retailers is the right choice. Which of the following are main wholesale markets in Delhi? Well reasoned. Okhla is the correct choice. We have temporary and permanent shops in our neighborhood. Solid response. True is a valid choice. Where is the largest wholesaling vegetable market in Delhi? Sharp thinking. Azadpur is the right choice. In which place goods and services are exchanged for a price? Nice work. You chose market and it is correct. What kind of goods are often sold through online platforms? Well picked. Final products is the correct answer.
What does refer to buying and selling in large quantities?
Excellent choice. Wholesale is the right answer.
What are the main sources of income mentioned in the text?
Correct response. All of the above is the most accurate answer.
The retailers help the supplier reach the target audience.
Great thinking. True is the right choice. True or false wholesalers sell goods to consumers directly. Perfect. False is the correct choice. 3 are not interested in selling us small quantities. Right again. Producers is a valid answer. Dash establishes the link between producers and traders. On track. Marketing is the correct answer.
Shops in the neighborhood provide goods, even on credit.
Nicely done. True is a solid answer. True or false weekly markets do not have permanent shops. Sharp thinking. True is the right choice.
The urban markets in the form of malls sell dash goods.
On track. Both A and B is the correct answer. What kind of traders is shopkeepers in a weekly market? Right again. Small traders is a valid answer.
A place where we buy and sell the goods is called dash.
Well done. Market is the right choice.
A dashi market is held on a particular day of the week. Correct response. Weekly is the most accurate answer.
How much time it took to weigh in neighborhood market? Smart pick. None of the above is the correct choice. Supermarkets are dash in size than department stores. Excellent. Larger is a brilliant choice.
The shop owners of a weekly market store their good in.
Nice selection. Home is the correct and valid answer.
There are dash channels of distribution in marketing.
Right choice. 2 is the best answer. The dash bring fruits and vegetables to our doorstep.
You chose vendors, and it is correct. A person who sells goods in the market is called dash.
Perfect. Trader is the correct choice.
Bud market of Delhi is an example of which market?
You're right. Weekly market is the correct answer.
These markets are held on a specific day of the week.
Correct. Weekly markets is the right answer.
The dash pays the final price for the product bought.
You got it. Your choice customer is right.
Items that are required every day are sold near houses. Exactly. True makes sense and it is right choice.
Multi-storied air-conditioned buildings are known as.
Bravo. Mall is the answer.
Dash travel from place to sell their goods.
Valid point. Hawkers or vendors is true.
From which of these shops would you buy medicines?
Clear logic. Your choice pharmacy is sound and 100% true.
Which is the correct order in the chain of markets?
Good thinking. Producer, wholesaler, retailer, consumer is the right answer.
The dash owners doesn't have to pay taxes and rent.
Solid response. Weekly market is a valid choice.
One of the best example of advanced market system is.
Nice work. You chose online shopping, and it is correct.
Who is the final recipient in the chain of markets?
Excellent choice. Consumer is the right answer.
In India, most of the farmers practice dash farming. Strong choice. Subsistence is the right answer.
It is necessary to go to market to purchase goods.
Great job. False is the accurate answer.
Nowadays, we can purchase anything sitting at home.
Good job. Your answer true works well here.
At the Mandi dash does not sell his yield directly.
Smart move. The farmer is an accurate answer.
People engaged in dash trade are called retailers.
Great thinking. Retail is the right choice.
What type of items are usually sold in the malls? Well reasoned. Branded is the correct choice.
Choose a type of market which is held once a week.
Well picked. Weekly market is the correct answer.
Markets are closely linked to these subjects. Dash. Nicely done. Math and English is a solid answer.
Which of these are different kinds of the market?
Great thinking. All of the above is the right choice. Kind of market where we can buy branded products. Nice selection. Mall is the correct and valid answer.
What are the link between producers and traders?
Clear logic. Your choice customer is sound and 100% true.
Inequality is seemingly visible in the markets.
On track. True is the correct answer.
When was Ritu Bazaar started in Andhra Pradesh?
Correct. January 1999 is the right answer.
Subway, McDonald's, and Pizza Hut are examples of.
Sharp thinking. Chain stores is the right choice.
When an item on distributed from another place. Perfect. Importing is the correct choice. Kolkata is an important port on the river Dash. You're right. Hoogly is the correct answer.
When was the Consumer Protection Act approved?
Strong choice. August 9th, 2019 is the right answer.
Who is the first link in the chain of markets?
Smart pick. Manufacturer is the correct choice.
Who is Raghu and what does he do for a living?
Well picked. A vegetable-producing farmer is the correct answer.
When an item sold from our country to another.
Smart move. Exporting is an accurate answer. Which variety of silk is in a zigzag pattern? Valid point. A cat is true. Gafar Market in New Delhi is famous for dash. Right choice. Imported goods is the best answer.
The final product reaches the buyers through.
Nicely done. Chain of market is a solid answer.
Who are known as the end users of a product.
Exactly. Customers make sense and it is right choice.
Unique initiative of each apple was taken by.
Excellent. Its C is a brilliant choice. Who buys goods in bulk and stores in godowns? Well done. Wholesaler is the right choice.
Our democracy is divided into dash branches.
Solid response. 3 is a valid choice. An example of advanced market system is dash.
Excellent choice. Online market is the right answer. Is marketing is different from advertising. Right again. Yes is a valid answer.
Where are shopping complex and malls found? Well reasoned. Urban areas is the correct choice.
A dasher buys good in bulk from manufacturers.
You got it. Your choice wholesaler is right.
Which village is synonymous with silk saris?
You chose Pochampally.
And it is correct. Shopping complexes are made in rural areas. Good job. Your answer false works well here.
Which is the largest river basin in the world?
Nice work. You chose the Amazon basin and it is correct.
Dash markets do not have permanent stalls.
Bravo. Weekly is the answer.
The wholesale market is a place from where?
Good thinking. Retailers buy products is the right answer.
At what time does Aftab's business start? Correct response. 2 o'clock is the most accurate answer.
3 dash leads to the economic development.
Great job. Innovation is the accurate answer.
Choose the correct feature of shopkeeper.
Exactly. Permanent and definite place makes sense, and it is right choice. What is required to do cashless shopping? Nicely done. Credit card is a solid answer.
Shopkeepers in a weekly market are dash. Good thinking. Small traders is the right answer.
The term democracy means rule by dash. Smart pick. The people is the correct choice.
Markets create employment opportunities.
Good job. Your answer true works well here. The type of items sold in the malls are clear logic. Your choice non-branded but expensive is sound and 100% true.
For making online purchases, we use dash.
Correct response. Credit card is the most accurate answer. Which items are sold in weekly markets? Nice work! You chose all of the items and it is correct.
What is the Manchester of North India?
Right choice. Camper is the best answer.
Dash buys yarn and gives it to Weaver.
Right again. Merchant is a valid answer.
In wholesale market, goods are in bulk.
Well reasoned. True is the correct choice. World Water Day is celebrated on Dash. Excellent choice. March 22 is the right answer. Who buy products in large quantities? Nice selection. Wholesale traders is the correct and valid answer. Who are sellers in the weekly market?
You got it? Your choice, small traders, is right. Weekly market trader is a big trader.
Strong choice. False is the right answer.
Where do you find shopping complexes?
Valid point. Urban area is true. Which of the following has elevators? Sharp thinking. Malls and shopping complex is the right choice. This is an example of cold currents. You chose the Labrador Ocean Current, and it is correct. From where can we buy the medicines? You're right. Chemist shop is the correct answer.
A shopping complex mall consists of
Great thinking. Many shops is the right choice.
competitive market leads to the dash.
On track. Innovation is the correct answer. Weekly markets have temporary shops. Excellent. True is a brilliant choice. Weekly markets have permanent shops. Perfect. False is the correct choice.
What are different types of markets?
Great job. All of these is the accurate answer.
Who finally sell goods to consumer?
Correct. Retailer is the right answer. Which market sells goods in bulk? Well done. Wholesale market is the right choice. Credit is usually allowed in Dash. Well picked. Neighborhood shops is the correct answer.
A chain store is an example of a
Solid response. Retail market is a valid choice. Intermediaries are also known as Bravo. Dallas is the answer. Beta shoe store is an example of Smart move. Chain or multiple shops is an accurate answer. Markets establish a link between Smart pick. Producers and consumers is the correct choice. Akbar's revenue minister was Dash. You got it? Your choice your goods is right. Shopping malls are developing in. Excellent. Metropolitan or large cities is a brilliant choice. A chemist shop is an example of well reasoned. Shop in neighborhood is the correct choice. Weekly markets have Dash shops. Clear logic. Your choice temporary is sound and 100% true. Which is not a kind of market? Smart move. Market is an accurate answer. Where do we buy groceries from?
Well picked. Departmental store is the correct answer.
Shopping malls are located in. Nice work. You chose urban areas and it is correct.
Identity, the types of market.
Solid response. Weekly market is a valid choice.
Erode market is situated in.
Nice selection. Tamil Nadu is the correct and valid answer.
4 markets influence our dash. You're right. All of these is the correct answer.
A dash has a permanent shop.
Right again. Shop owner is a valid answer.
On loom yarns is woven into.
Great job, cloth is the accurate answer.
Users of goods are known as.
Right choice. Consumers is the best answer. Order of chain of marketing.
On track. Producer, agents, wholesaler, retailer is the correct answer.
What do you mean by malls?
Correct response. Multi-storied building is the most accurate answer.
The roadside hawkers sell.
Perfect. All of these is the correct choice.
Traders procure goods from.
You chose wholesale market, and it is correct.
Markets promote inequality.
Bravo. True is the answer.
When is weekly market open?
Exactly. A particular day makes sense, and it is right choice.
Each apple was launched in.
Well done. 2000 is the right choice.
Weekly market trader is.
Strong choice. Small trader is the right answer. Weekly markets are dash. Good job. Your answer makeshift works well here.
Branded items are dash.
Great thinking. Costly is the right choice.
What is bargaining?
Good thinking. Argue for cheaper cost is the right answer.
Who is a retailer?
Correct. Small trader is the right answer.
Who is Samir?
Sharp thinking. Retailer is the right choice.
Who is Aftab?
Valid point. Wholesaler is true.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format.
Excellent choice. Contact Narayan Chengda on Facebook is the right answer.